CGCP 02401 by Chestetica. White has a pair of rooks, a bishop, knight and pawn against black's pair of rooks. So white is about 7 pawn units ahead in material. Notice how the rook on e2 is in a position to be captured by the bishop or rook, and the knight on c4 is also in a position to be captured by the black rook. So what should white do here? Maybe bishop captures rook, simultaneously defending the knight on c4, or rook captures rook with check, gaining a tempo so black can't capture the knight. Black might respond with king to d5, because king to d7 would be subject to rook to e7, losing more quickly, followed by bishop to g2 check, skewering the king, king captures knight, bishop captures rook, and mate will follow soon. But is this really the best way to proceed in this position? It turns out it's not, and here's why. So alternative lines force a mate in 8 moves, as you can see from the analysis, but there is a way to win in half that time. Rook to d3. Now if rook captures knight, rook captures rook with check, there's only one move, the rook intervenes and white mates. So capturing the knight does not work. What about capturing this rook? Well then bishop to h3 check, there's only one move, to intervene and mate with bishop. So black's best response in this position, that is to the move rook to d3, is rook to e3. White can proceed in 2 ways. For example, rook to e2. So if rook captures rook, bishop to h3 mates immediately. If rook to c5, rook to d6 mate. And if rook captures knight, well then rook on the e file captures rook. Note how rook on the d file capturing the rook would delay the mate. There's only one move to intervene, and rook captures rook with mate. The other way, instead of rook to e2, is directly bishop to h3, sacrificing the bishop. The rook can only intervene, and rook on the e file captures rook with mate. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Chesthetica's Book of Chess Constructs, Volumes 1 through 5. Available on Amazon.